I know I've been speaking to protesters throughout the day.
Hi, everybody. Queen Crystal King in the building. I'm making this live with a very heavy heart. This day is a day that will go down in history as one of the most shameful, disgusting abuse of power that I believe I will ever see in my lifetime. Where? Where do they do this? Why are they defending the nation's capital from Americans? Why is 45 still allowed to spew this rhetoric about how the election was stolen from him, how he won in a landslide, gaslighting so that people can go against our democracy, our Constitution, storm the nation's capital, busting windows, scaling the walls, calling our policemen traitors for doing their jobs. And why has it taken so long to disperse this crowd, make arrests, and do the right thing when it comes to our nation's capital? I've never seen anything like this before in my life. My opinion alone. I think about the civil rights movement where they were trying to desegregate and they had our Black men and women, our babies, our mothers, our fathers, our elderly, just going up to a lunch counter to be treated just like everyone else. And they're sending dogs, water hoses, billy clubs, shooting them, taking them in groves to jails, and half of their families don't even know where they are. And that was just for desegregation. This election was fair and square. Not only was money collected to run, money was collected after the race was over, and money was collected to challenge the will of the people, the vote of the people. Over 60 challenges, over 60 complaints, recounts after recounts. There were no implications that this was a crooked election. 45 said it was a crooked election, period. We know that it was not. So by humoring him, more money came out of the pockets of the American people. And the Republicans who did not stand up and call him out on the BS that he's spewing, you lost, 45, fair and square. Now let's have a smooth transition of power. Of course not. Of course not. This is why it's important as you're raising your children, even as adults, if you've done things fair and square and it didn't go your way or you lost, congratulate the winner. And let's go on. But no, there are so many. I actually saw a man sitting in the nation's capital with his dirty boots up on a desk with his feet crossed. Like that's the way it was supposed to be. Windows are being broken. They're scaling the walls. They're swinging at the policemen. Can you imagine if this was a Black Lives Matter protest? Peaceful protesters got tear gassed just for a photo op in front of a church to hold the Bible upside down. May God have mercy on the souls of these people who have been tricked, who really believe that this man was cheated out of this election. I'm watching people walk around the nation's capital with backpacks, cell phones, flags. That would have never happened. Never should we ever have to protect our nation's capital from Americans. I'm listening to opinions around the world, and they're talking about the horror that they're seeing over here in America, in DC. I'm not even going to ask why. At 6 o'clock, all this is supposed to be dispersed, or there was supposed to be arrests. But no, I'm still looking at them standing out in front of the nation's capital. I was watching a Black police officer armed with only a billy club trying to keep the protesters away from him, and he was by himself. To me, it looked like he was on his radio calling for backup. Nobody came. He's swinging. He used great restraint that I haven't seen in many, many years to keep these protesters off of him. And they continue to charge him to where he had to turn around and retreat. Still, no one was there. People are walking up and down the street like they're at a carnival. I've never seen anything like this before. Never. And I hope to God I never see anything like this again. The curfew has been in effect for 1 hour and 21 minutes. And you still have people out here protesting. They're walking up and down like they're watching some type of video game. This is real. This is real. They're talking about implementing the 25th Amendment, which I haven't seen happen. Riot police blocking pro-Trump mob. The mob storms the Capitol. Officers forced to draw guns. Pence lawmakers evacuated. One person dies. One female dies. I would rather it be no lives. But out of all this chaos, one person dies. My God. People are at a standstill. The policemen are at a standstill. The protesters are still holding up their signs, walking around with their flags. Like they have absolutely no fear of the police. Not the way I would see anyone else have fear of the police. And let's not speak in subliminals. If this was a totally different protest, it wouldn't be happening this way at all. I am disgusted. I am truly disgusted. It's time to go, 45. Whatever consequences that you need to face as a result of your crooked presidency, you're going to face them. You play these people like puppets. And I'm sorry, some people just want to be played. Now, how much attention has been given to the virus today? With this big deflection, how much attention has been given to the virus today? How many people have died today as a result of this cowardice stunt? Now you want people to go home in peace, but yet you're still saying that the election was stolen from you. I'll never forget this day. Never. 2021. I hope to God nothing like this ever happens again. We have a democracy. The will of the people, the vote of the people. We've spoken. You lost by a landslide. You didn't win by a landslide. And over 60 of your complaints, all the way up to the Supreme Court, were thrown out or withdrawn. God help us. And I said, these people walking around with their video cameras, basically refusing to move. They still have a chance to go home. They still have a chance to go home without being arrested, without being hurt or being killed or killing someone. I don't see that opportunity being taken. The will of the people will be honored. The people have spoken. Congratulations, President-elect Joe Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Thank you for listening. Love, peace, and chicken grease.